Imagine a teenager fleeing home at 15, surviving on gritty New York streets amid drugs and despair, only to rise as one of Hollywood's most chilling villains, captivating audiences with raw intensity. Peter Greene's journey from a troubled runaway to starring in blockbusters like Pulp Fiction and The Mask is a tale of grit and redemption that inspired countless underdogs. With a net worth of $1 million and unforgettable roles that defined 90s cinema, Greene became a symbol of resilient talent in the acting world. But what hidden struggles and triumphs propelled him from homelessness to the silver screen? And how did his lavish yet private lifestyle reflect his hard-won success? Stick around as we dive deep into the enigma that was Peter Greene. You won't want to miss the revelations ahead. Early life and struggles. Peter Greene's story begins in the quiet suburbs of Montclair, New Jersey, where he entered the world on October 8, 1965, into a modest Irish-American family steeped in Catholic values. As the eldest of 3 siblings, a brother named John and a sister named Mary Ann, Greene grew up in a household marked by simplicity and unspoken hardships. His parents, though details remain scarce, provided a stable but unassuming environment, working blue-collar jobs to make ends meet in a post-war America still grappling with economic shifts. The family's tight-knit dynamic instilled early lessons in loyalty, but the societal pressures of the era, rising inflation, cultural changes, and the lingering shadows of Vietnam, created an undercurrent of tension that young Peter keenly felt. By his mid-teens, Greene's restlessness boiled over. At just 15, he ran away from home, plunging into the unforgiving streets of New York City. This period of homelessness, lasting several years, exposed him to the city's underbelly, panhandling for meals, sleeping in abandoned buildings, and navigating a world rife with danger. The bustling metropolis, with its stark divide between wealth and poverty, amplified his sense of isolation. Greene later reflected that these years taught him survival instincts no classroom could, but they came at a steep cost. Entanglement with drugs, starting as a user and escalating to dealing to sustain himself. The constant threat of violence and arrest loomed, shaping a worldview hardened by adversity. Family played a pivotal role in his early resilience. Despite the rift caused by his departure, his siblings remained a quiet anchor. John, in particular, represented the path not taken, staying grounded while Peter wandered. Their mother, a figure of quiet strength, embodied perseverance, often reminding him through sporadic contacts of the importance of hope amid chaos. "She taught me that toughness isn't about fighting the world, but enduring it," Greene once shared in an interview, crediting her influence for preventing total self-destruction. Yet, the absence of a strong paternal guide, his father, reportedly distant, left voids that fueled his rebellion. Specific trials defined this era. One harrowing incident involved a brutal encounter with street rivals over territory, leaving Greene battered and questioning his choices. Another was his first brush with the law, arrested for petty theft to afford basics, which introduced him to the juvenile system and its revolving door of despair. These experiences, while scarring, ignited a spark of determination. By his early 20s, Greene sought refuge in acting classes at Lee Strasberg's studio, channeling his pain into performance. This pivot marked the end of his street life, but the scars lingered, manifesting in ongoing battles with addiction that would haunt his adult years. These foundational struggles not only built Greene's character, but also infused his later roles with authentic menace. As we move forward, let's explore how this turbulent start propelled him into a remarkable career trajectory. Career journey. Peter Greene's entry into acting was as unconventional as his upbringing. In his mid-20s, while still shaking off the streets of New York, he enrolled in classes at the prestigious Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. This marked his first tentative steps into the industry, drawn by the opportunity to transform personal demons into art. His deep, gravelly voice and piercing gaze, honed by years of hardship, quickly set him apart. Greene's debut came in 1990 with a small role in the NBC series Hardball, portraying a tough cop that hinted at his affinity for edgy characters. Though minor, it opened doors, leading to his film breakthrough in 1992's Laws of Gravity, where he starred alongside Edie Falco as a streetwise Brooklyn hustler. The indie film's raw depiction of urban life mirrored Greene's own experiences, earning critical nods and signaling his potential. The early 90s proved transformative. In 1993, Greene delivered a haunting performance in Clean Shaven as Peter Winter, a schizophrenic father searching for his daughter. The role, lauded for its unflinching realism, caught Quentin Tarantino's eye, paving the way for iconic opportunities. That same year, he appeared in Judgment Night, playing a menacing thug opposite Emilio Estevez, further establishing his villain niche. But 1994 catapulted him to fame. As Dorian Tyrell in The Mask, Greene embodied the suave yet sinister gangster opposite Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz. The film's massive success, grossing over $350 million worldwide, showcased his ability to blend charisma with threat, making him a go-to for antagonistic parts. Hot on its heels came Pulp Fiction, where Greene's chilling portrayal of Zed, the sadistic security guard, became etched in cinematic history. The Quentin Tarantino masterpiece, which won the Palme d'Or and earned over $200 million, amplified Greene's reputation. His scene-stealing intensity in the infamous basement sequence drew praise, with critics noting how his performance elevated the film's dark humor. Riding this wave, 1995 brought roles in The Usual Suspects as the uncredited Redfoot, adding to the crime thriller's ensemble magic, and Under Siege 2. Dark territory as a mercenary alongside Steven Seagal. These back-to-back hits solidified his status, with earnings from these films contributing significantly to his growing fortune. As the decade progressed, Greene diversified. In 1997's Kiss and Tell, he collaborated with director Jordan Allen, who later helped him through rehab, blending professional and personal bonds. 1999's Blue Streak saw him as a corrupt cop opposite Martin Lawrence, while 2001's Training Day featured him in a supporting role amid Denzel Washington's Oscar-winning performance. Though not always leading, his contributions often stole scenes, earning him steady work. The mid-2000s included action flicks like Ticker in 2001 and Brothers in Arms in 2005, plus Endgame in 2006. Television offered new avenues. In 2007, Greene starred as Derek Dokie Farrell in the NBC series The Black Donnellys, a gritty drama about Irish brothers in crime, drawing from his heritage. Though short-lived, it garnered a cult following. 2009's Life on Mars remake featured him in a recurring role, blending sci-fi with his tough guy persona. Later years saw sporadic but memorable appearances in 2010's The Bounty Hunter with Jennifer Aniston and 2020's For Life on ABC. His final roles included Uncle Carmine in the 2023 miniseries The Continental, a John Wick prequel, and posthumous releases like Mascots and Clicker. Throughout, Greene amassed no major awards but achieved cult icon status, with his 90s villains influencing generations of actors. His body of work, spanning over 50 credits, generated consistent income through residuals and royalties, building his $1 million net worth. Collaborations with stars like Carrey, Washington, and Tarantino underscored his impact, proving that from street survivor to screen legend, persistence paid off. With his career highs in mind, let's shift to the opulent world he built off-screen, starting with a tour of his impressive real estate portfolio that mirrored his rise from rags to riches. Real Estates, the Hollywood Hills haven, $4.8 million. Nestled in the prestigious Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, this sprawling estate stands as the crown jewel of Peter Greene's portfolio. Acquired in the late 90s at the peak of his fame, it became his primary West Coast retreat, a place to unwind after grueling shoots. The home's interior exudes a seamless blend of modern sophistication and practical design, perfect for an actor who valued both creativity and relaxation. Upon entering, the grand foyer leads to an expansive living area with built-in shelving units lining the walls, ideal for displaying memorabilia from films like Pulp Fiction. The space flows effortlessly into a state-of-the-art kitchen equipped with high-end appliances, including a double oven and a spacious island that doubles as a breakfast bar for casual meals. Adjacent is the dining room, featuring a custom-built wet bar with integrated storage for entertaining guests discreetly. The master suite offers a private oasis, complete with an attached sitting area for quiet reflection and a spa-like bathroom boasting a deep soaking tub and separate steam shower. 2 guest bedrooms provide ample space, each with ensuite facilities that include rainfall shower heads and heated floors for added comfort. A dedicated home office, lined with corkboard walls for pinning scripts and notes, caters to Greene's professional needs. Downstairs, the lower level houses a fully equipped home gym with free weights, cardio machines, and mirrored walls to monitor form during workouts. This fitness area connects to a cozy screening room outfitted with plush recliners and a high-definition projector, where Greene often reviewed dailies or hosted intimate viewings. The layout ensures privacy, with soundproofing throughout to maintain tranquility. Outside, an inviting outdoor pool beckons, surrounded by lounge chairs for sun-soaked afternoons. The pool area includes a built-in barbecue station, making it ideal for low-key gatherings. This home's thoughtful design, emphasizing wellness and entertainment, mirrored Greene's balanced approach to life, serving as a haven during his busiest career phases. Transitioning to his East Coast properties, Greene's next residence offered a contrast, blending suburban charm with urban accessibility. The Montclair Manor, $3.5 million. Back in his hometown of Montclair, New Jersey, Greene invested in this elegant manor, valued at $3.5 million, a nod to his roots purchased in the early 2000s. This property symbolized a return to familiarity, providing a grounded escape from Los Angeles's hustle while maintaining luxury. The interior welcomes with a spacious entry hall that branches into a formal living room adorned with a grand piano alcove, though Greene rarely played, using it more for ambient decor. The heart of the home is the gourmet kitchen, featuring a 6-burner stove, walk-in pantry stocked with staples, and a cozy nook for morning coffee rituals. The primary bedroom suite upstairs includes a private balcony access point, but the real highlight is the adjoining bathroom with a jetted whirlpool tub and dual vanities for efficient mornings. Additional bedrooms are versatile, one converted into a reading nook with built-in benches, and another as a guest suite with its own mini-fridge for convenience. The outdoor pool adds a resort-like feel, complete with a waterfall, feature that creates a soothing ambiance for swimming laps or floating leisurely. Integrated heaters extend its use into cooler months, enhancing year-round enjoyment. This manor's focus on personal hobbies and comfort highlighted Greene's desire for a space that felt like home, bridging his past and present. Moving to his most intimate retreat, the final property in our tour offered urban sophistication with a touch of seclusion. The Brentwood Bliss, $2.2 million. Culminating our adventure in the sun-kissed charm of Brentwood, Peter Greene's blissfully attainable abode at $2.2 million wraps up the trio with a warm embrace, distilling the artistic flair and functional grace from the Hollywood Hills into something even more versatile and heartfelt. Inside, the main floor boasts an open-concept living and dining space with a fireplace mantel crafted for displaying awards and photos, though Greene kept it minimalist. The kitchen shines with professional-grade features like a convection oven and integrated espresso machine, facilitating quick meals amid busy schedules. The master suite on the upper level includes a luxurious bathroom with a sauna attachment for post-workout recovery, paired with heated towel racks for everyday indulgence. Guest rooms are thoughtfully designed, one with built-in desk space for writing, reflecting Greene's occasional scripting interests. The outdoor pool, though compact, includes hydrotherapy jets for therapeutic swims, surrounded by privacy screens for undisturbed relaxation. This townhouse's emphasis on efficiency and urban wellness captured Greene's adaptive lifestyle, rounding out a portfolio that spoke to his multifaceted journey. These properties showcased Greene's evolution from street survivor to discerning homeowner. Beyond real estate, his passion for automobiles added another layer to his refined tastes, as we'll explore next. Car collection. Peter Greene's affinity for cars wasn't just about transportation. It was a narrative of his life's chapters, each vehicle symbolizing a milestone in his turbulent yet triumphant path. Acquired thoughtfully over time, these cars reflected his no-frills personality, prioritizing performance and sentiment over flash. We'll cruise through them from most valuable to least, uncovering the tales behind the wheels. Kicking off with the pinnacle of his garage, the 1961 Jaguar E-Type Coupe. Valued at $185,000, it's the undisputed king, a testament to craftsmanship that still inspires awe decades later. This machine isn't merely a car, it's a symbol of elegant design that once captivated the roads with unmatched grace. Picture Greene acquiring it after a serendipitous tip from a fellow enthusiast at a film set gathering, drawn to its legacy of turning everyday drives into poetic journeys. He often shared how piloting it felt like gliding through forgotten eras, a thrill that connected him to the spirit of innovation in a time when style met substance. Next in line is the 1994 Ferrari F355, a beast born from the fires of Italian passion and refined for eternity. Priced at $135,000, this Ferrari holds its own as a bridge between vintage thrills and accessible luxury. Greene stumbled upon this gem during a casual browse at a European auto show, instantly captivated by its aura of exhilaration. The story goes that he negotiated fiercely with the seller over late-night calls, securing it as a centerpiece that embodies the romance of open-road adventures. It's more than transportation. It's a narrative of spirited escapades on winding paths where only the daring thrived. Whenever he took it for a spin on quiet highways, it whispered tales of sunset chases and heartfelt restorations. Rounding out the top three is the 1965 Porsche 912, a sleek marvel that captures the essence of mid-century precision and agility. With a value of $110,000, it proves that true classics don't need sky-high prices to deliver endless delight. Greene's acquisition of this one reads like a treasure hunt. He tracked it down through a chain of contacts after spotting a similar model in an old magazine. It quickly became his go-to for relaxed outings, evoking memories of coastal cruises and the hum of enthusiastic crowds at vintage rallies. This car isn't about overwhelming power alone. It's a harmonious blend of engineering and joy that makes every trip an invitation to explore. Together, these vehicles, part of his net worth, weren't mere possessions. They wove into his narrative, driving forward from past shadows. As we park this segment, let's turn to the personal relationships that anchored him through it all. Personal life. Peter Greene's personal world was a tapestry of quiet connections marked by resilience amid public scrutiny. Though fiercely private, his relationships added layers of humanity to the tough exterior seen on screen. He experienced a brief marriage in the early 90s, shortly after his acting debut, to a woman named Elizabetha. Details sparse, but it ended amicably without lasting bitterness. This union, though short, taught him about vulnerability, influencing his guarded approach to romance thereafter. Greene never remarried, preferring solitude or low-key partnerships away from tabloids, which allowed him to focus on self-growth, post-addiction. Fatherhood brought unexpected depth. Greene had one son, Ryder, born in the late 2000s, whom he raised with utmost protectiveness. Becoming a parent at 40-something shifted his priorities. Writers' milestones, like first steps and school plays, became Greene's proudest achievements. He often described parenthood as the role that mattered most, mirroring the redemptive arcs in his films. Family extended to siblings, brother John, who remained out of the spotlight in a civilian career, and sister Mary Ann, with whom he shared occasional holidays in New Jersey. These ties grounded him, offering normalcy amid fame. John, in particular, provided brotherly advice during Greene's recovery periods. Controversies punctuated his life, adding complexity. Greene faced public backlash for his drug struggles, including a 1998 arrest for possession and dealing, which stemmed from his street past. Critics labeled him a Hollywood bad boy, but he responded with transparency, entering rehab and speaking out in interviews about addiction's grip. Another scandal erupted in 2007 with a crack cocaine charge, drawing media frenzy. Greene issued public apologies, emphasizing accountability. "I've stumbled, but I'm owning it to help others." These incidents, while tarnishing his image temporarily, humanized him, leading to advocacy work. Greene's community involvement shone through his support for recovery organizations like the MusiCares Foundation, aiding artists with substance issues. He volunteered at New York rehab centers, sharing stories to inspire participants, earning quiet recognition for his empathy. His Irish-American heritage fueled ties to cultural groups, including donations to Irish famine memorials, honoring family roots. In 2015, he received an informal honor from an Actors Guild for mentoring young talents battling personal demons. This personal sphere reflected the authenticity in his work, raw, unfiltered, and redemptive. Greene's relationships, from fleeting marriage to devoted fatherhood, echoed the depth he brought to villains, turning life's chaos into quiet strength. Yet tragedy loomed, cutting his story short in heartbreaking fashion. Tragic death. Peter Greene's life ended abruptly on December 12, 2025, at age 60, in a manner as enigmatic as his screen personas. Found unresponsive in his Lower East Side apartment in Manhattan, the discovery followed neighbors' concerns over blaring Christmas music for days. Police arrived for a wellness check, uncovering Greene face down on the floor with a facial injury and blood nearby, alongside a cryptic handwritten note. "I'm still a Westie." This reference to Westies, an Irish mob from his youth's haunts, added layers of mystery, perhaps alluding to unresolved past ties or inner turmoil. The cause remained undetermined pending autopsy, but context pointed to possible factors. Greene had a scheduled surgery that day to remove a benign lung tumor, a health issue he'd battled quietly. His history of addiction, heroin and cocaine in the 90s, with arrests in 1998 and 2007, raised overdose suspicions, though no drugs were immediately reported. A past suicide attempt in 1996, which he openly discussed, fueled speculation of self-harm, especially amid reports of recent isolation. Manager Greg Edwards noted Greene sounded totally normal in their last call, discussing future projects, making the timing jarring. Family was notified swiftly. Son Ryder, then 16, and siblings John and Mary Ann mourned privately, issuing a statement appreciating fans' support. The acting community grieved, with tributes from Quentin Tarantino praising his unmatched intensity. Greene's death, amid his $1 million net worth and unfinished films, left a void, a tragic coda to a life of peaks and valleys, reminding us of fragility behind fame. If this deep dive into Peter Greene's extraordinary life resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to the Celeb Insider for more insider stories on your favorite stars. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite Greene role. We'd love to hear. Stay tuned for our next video exploring another legend's untold tales. Thanks for watching.